Okay, loves of my life. Who the hell did I marry? So last we left off, Veronica had the absolute audacity to message me and say that she was not at fault and that I should not have gotten her fired. To which I was like, should I reply? What should I do? My fingers were sticky. They were feeling like they wanted to play. But I was thinking, you know what? I want to do something different. I want this woman to explain things to me in person, because if she really thinks she wasn't at fault, then what kind of woman is she if she wants to meet me in person and tell me exactly what happened? So that's what I did. I sent her a message and I said, "Hi, Veronica, I'm really sorry that you feel that way. But if you would like to plead your case and let me know how it is that you're not at fault and really explain to me the real story and why this happened and how this happened, and explain to yourself as a woman to me and for all girlhood and for all womankind, you can meet me at a coffee shop this week. You let me know." And I hit send. Now, during this time, I had started to obviously take down every remnant of Takis in my life. I had taken down all his photos in the house. My place was starting to look like a girl apartment. And I had also taken him off of every shred of social media that I had. I had taken him off the Facebook, the Instagram, and everything, and any traces of us being in a relationship. So, of course, with that, the vultures were coming about because, well, men, y'all just can't leave it alone, huh? You see a woman get single and y'all just have to snatch away. So I was getting DMs, messages, flights in from all the hawks and the falcons about y'all, from all the creepy little wolves that were trying to get at me, that were like, "Oh, I see that you're single now." Now, a lot of these were men that I actually knew from the modeling industry and acting, and just guys that I had been friends with. But there were also some guys that were Taki's friends. Now, from friends, I mean that people that he was just like kind of acquaintances with and not super, super close with. But I know that y'all remember that one reporter that I had told you guys about previously. He was the one that brought John Stamos to the food truck. So he had always kind of had like a little flirty vibe with me, and him and Takis were friends, but they weren't like besties. And so when he ended up text messaging me and being like, "Hey, Agape Moo, I'm really sorry to hear about you and Takis splitting up. I can't believe he's an idiot for cheating on you. Can I please take you to a drink? I would really like to show you what a real Greek man can do." I was like, who am I to deny another Greek man to plead his case to me? Also, I was thinking, well, let's see, what have we done to Takis? We've gotten him fired from his job. We've cut up all of his clothes. We kicked him out of the house. We're going to serve him divorce papers. We left him with no money. Now what are we going to do? We're going to date his friend and someone that we know that he really, really respects and that he uses for his connections, because that's what this man was to him. Takis had used him for a lot of connections because he was very connected, and he used him for a connection from Ami Hotel. He had gotten him all these different clients to the restaurant, like these big clients going there, John Stamos. And I knew that he always kind of had an eye out on this man. Like, oh, he's a little bit more successful than me. He gets a lot of girls. So I knew that they were kind of like frenemies in the Greek community. So I thought, why not, girl? Why not ride that ride? 2 days later, I was going to meet up with him at a cute place called the Highlight Room. I don't remember if it's still around now, but it's a very high-end bar that is in Hollywood. And it was at the top of, I think, a hotel, if I'm not mistaken, if y'all know. And at the very top, there's a rooftop, and you can see all of Hollywood, and it's very bougie, very nice. I saw Leo there once with his dumbass hat. I go up there. I still haven't heard from Veronica at this point, okay? I haven't gotten any messages, and I also have not heard from Takis, because he sent me that long-winded apology thing, and then I just didn't respond. I was like, this man can sweat it out, okay? And I had planned on blocking him if I really needed to. So I was like, I'm going to meet this Greek man that he is in competition with, and I am going to look hot. Now, I forgot the nickname that I gave this reporter man, but I'm just going to call him the correspondent Greek man, okay? Y'all know who I'm talking about. I can't go back right now to see what his code name was, but if you remember, let me know in the comments. So I was like, I need to make sure that I'm looking hot. So I wore a cropped black tube top with these low-rise black slacks, really high lubies, and my hair snatched up to the gods in the Ariana hair. I also had like a little bang situation and a bright-ass red lip. And then over it, I had a little sheer, it was like a sheer kind of poncho looking thing, but it was like completely see-through. You know what I'm saying? So it showed body still, like you could see my tummy, but underneath you could see arms. It was very, very cute. And then I had my big chunky pearl necklaces that Taki's mother had given me. So I go up the elevator, up there, walk in. When you walk in, immediately there's the indoor dance floor that's right over here. You walk over, there's the bar here, and then there's all these seats outside that overlook the view. I see him immediately. He is very cute. He looks like your stereotypical Greek guy. Not really like super my type, but a little bit of facial hair, probably around 5'11". He had a white, super tight tank top on. Honestly, very good body, very abby, and tan skin and these very tight blue jeans. which I was kind of like suspect about. I was like, are tight blue jeans, is that what we're doing right now? But you know what, King, you do you, and his Louis Vuitton shoes. We sit down. It's a booth, y'all. So table here, booth goes around. I sit here, mofo scooches over and is like scrunched next to me, like huddled up. I'm like, okay, we doing this, we getting cozy. And he's like, how are you, darling? And I'm like, oh, you know, I'm hanging in there. And he's like, well, you look radiant. And I'm like, tell me something I don't know. And he's like, I can't believe Takis. He's an idiot. We all think he's an idiot. All of us, all of his friends. Like, who is he to deny such a goddess and to cheat on you? Like, it's absolutely despicable. I'm like, I agree, sir. Tell me things I don't know. And he's like, okay, what's your plan now? I'm like, well, I am currently on the saboteur route of his life. And I am also fixing my own. So I am figuring out where I'm going to live with the dogs. I'm figuring out my finances and stuff. And he was like, anything agape moo that you need, you let me know. Like, I am here for you, anything you need. I'm like, great. I'm happy to hear that. I will definitely let you know if there's anything that I need. So we're chatting, we're having a good time. We're having vodka martinis because that is my drink, y'all. Usually it is a vodka martini with a twist, very light on the vermouth, cold, cold, cold. Very, very shaken, like ice cube cold. I want you to feel like you're drinking the butthole of Antarctica, you know, like that's my drink. So I'm sitting there and at some point he gets up to go to the bathroom. Now, one thing I will say about the highlight room, okay? The highlight room was run by Maddie's man. Now, Maddie's man, he ran Tao Group, which also ran Highlight Room and the Beauty and Essex bar there. So he was running the whole shebang of it, okay? His connection there that he had to let everybody in, he was letting all his Greeks in. So I also knew that he would be letting the Greeks, as in Takis and his crew, in from time to time. Now, this was like a Wednesday or Thursday night, which was like the good night at the Highlight Room. I am fully aware that there is a chance that Takis might end up being there. Was I counting on it? Maybe a little. Was I hoping it? Also maybe a little bit. But I'm sitting there just kind of like minding my own business, la la la, waiting for old Greek reporter to come back. While I'm sitting there, these two dudes walk up. They look like they're maybe Armenian or something. They walk up and they're like, hey, is someone sitting here? I'm like, oh yeah, I'm actually here on a date. And they were like, oh, well, we can keep you company like until he comes back. And I'm like, why do men do this, you guys? I'm like, y'all know it's fine. And then they're just kind of like asking my name and stuff. And I'm just kind of being like, whatever. And then I hear behind them someone go like, don't y'all have somewhere else to be? And I look over and who is it? It's Dino, Taki's right-hand man and butt buddy. And I'm thinking, well, if Dino's here, then Taki's is not far behind. Two Armenians, they see Dino, who's like this tall dude, and they kind of scurry away. Dino scoots in next to me and he gives me a hug and a kiss on the cheek. And he's like, hey, kitty cat. And I'm like, hello, Dino. And he's like, who are you here with? And I was like, I'm here with the Greek reporter. And he's like, oh, he's here? I'm like, yeah. And he's like, wait, you're here with him? I'm like, yeah. And he goes, cat, come on. I was like, what, Dino? He's like, really? Are you like really trying to go after like all of Taki's guys and hurt him this way? I'm like, first of all, that is my right. Because I am a single, separated, soon to be divorced woman. So I can do whatever the hell I want. Second of all, he really has no say in anything that I do. And if I hurt him, well, he hurt me a lot first. So I'm not really concerned about how he feels. And third of all, Greek reporter man invited me out. So if you want to take something up with him in regards to sticking up for your friend and your butt buddy, you go ahead and let him know, but I'm just here having an innocent little drink with a man that finds me attractive, and there is nothing wrong with that. And he goes, you're still married. And I go, correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't Taki still married when he cheated on me multiple times? And he goes, look, nothing happened with them until after you guys broke up. I'm like, that is bullshit. Okay, no. And he's like, it's true. They just had like done some things, but they hadn't slept together until after you and he had officially broken up. I'm like, first of all, I don't buy that for a second. And second of all, it doesn't matter because he was literally hanging out and dating her. So clearly they had done some things. And he was like, look, I don't know, but all I know is that nothing serious happened until after. I'm like, no, like, everybody knows it. I don't believe you. You're always going to stick up for him. He's literally living on your couch. And I'm like, is he here? And he was like, no. And he's like, and I'm really glad that he's not here because if he saw you two together, he would lose his shit. I'm like, well, not my problem. Greek reporter comes back. He scoots in. They are like, oh, hey, hey, hey. They start saying stuff in Greek. I can tell because me being able to understand a lot of it, that Dino is reprimanding him for taking me out. Dude is reprimanding Dino for being friends with a cheating asshole. And he's like, that Malakia, blah, blah, blah. Malaka is asshole in Greek. And he's just like, they're just going back, malaka, malaka, malaka. And I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, did you get me another drink? And he's like, yes, it's coming, darling. And Dino just goes, ugh, this is gross. And he goes, Kat, why don't you call me whenever you get your mind back? I'm like, unlikely. Also, you are a bad friend and you're a bad influence because you should be telling your friend how to act right. So he leaves. I'm sitting back there with the reporter guy and he's like, are you okay? I'm like, yeah. And he's like, I hate when guys let their friends act badly. And I'm like, yeah, I agree. We have a great night. He ends up taking me home in his cute little Bentley. Yes, the man has a Bentley, and takes me back to my place. We pull up to my place. As soon as we pull up to the front door, I see a familiar BMW i3, aka Takis, in my car outside. And I'm like, cool. And he goes, what is it? Because I didn't get out of the car. I go, Takis is right there. We're sitting in the car. Takis gets out of the car and he stands next to his car like this and is just like waiting for us to get out. I'm like, oh my God. And he's like, what do you want me to do? I'm like, I don't want to deal with him, clearly. And he's like, okay, I'm going to walk you inside. I'm like, no, like he's going to get weird. And I just don't want any violence or anything to be happening right now because he is on a warpath to act crazy right now. So why don't you just let me out and I will just run inside? And he was like, no, he's like, I'm going to take you back upstairs. Like, I'm going to walk you in. I'm like, okay, this is going to be interesting. So he gets out of the car. He walks out. Takis is just standing at the car, not moving, glaring at him. Dude walks back around to the passenger side, opens the door, walks me out. I have my arm looped in his arm. And as I'm walking up, Takis gets up from his car and starts walking behind us. And Takis just starts yelling at this man in Greek. He's like, Malaka, this is what you do with my wife. Like, you're an asshole. You're a bad person. Like, how could you do this? Blah, blah, blah. Homeboy turns around. He starts yelling at him, saying, like, you're a cheater and you're a bad Greek and, like, you're a bad man and blah, 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 blah. They're just going back and they're not even, like, getting physical with each other. It's kind of like, you know, when dogs go, like, rah, 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 rah. It was like that. They were just, like, in each other's faces. I'm like, wow, guys, this is a very good show of masculinity right now. Like, someone throw a punch. You know what I'm saying? I'm just kidding. I'm not, though. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to go inside. And they're just, like, yelling, yelling, yelling. And then Takis looks at me and he's like, really? You're into this cheesy dude? And then homeboy's like, cheesy? Who's cheesy? You're cheesy because you're a cheater. I'm like, I'm not into either of you right now because you're annoying the fuck out of me, both of y'all. I'm like, reporter man, thank you for a nice night. I'm going to go inside. Because then reporter man is like trying to say that he can treat me better and that like he's going to make me his next wife. And I'm like, whoa, 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 let's all relax because I ain't marrying nobody else and definitely not another Greek man, okay? This soon after this. And also, I think I'm swearing off men in general. Takis is like yelling at him. They're both yelling at each other. I walk into my building. I literally scan my little fob. I walk in, I go up the elevator, I go inside, I shut the door and I hit the latch and I just walk over through the living room past the dogs who are like happy to see me. I'm like, hi guys. I walk over, I look over the balcony and they're just out there yelling at each other like this. No physical touch, just screaming at each other, spitting at each other, in each other's faces, yelling in Greek. Legend has it, they're still out there now and they still haven't thrown a punch. So I just went to bed and I'm assuming that they just parted ways and left. The next day, I finally get a DM from who? Little Miss Veronica. And she's like, sure, what time do you want to meet? I'm like, well, why don't you tell me when you want to meet? And then I go, wait, you probably have the time because you're unemployed. Yo, damn, I just could not help it. So I was like, hey, yeah, so let's meet at this time at this coffee shop that was near me. She's like, fine, I'll see you there. So we were going to meet that day at 2 p.m. at this coffee bar that was on the bottom of my street over at Las Palmas and Hollywood where I used to live. I'm like, okay, clearly I need to think about how I'm going to handle this because I know that I want to get answers from her, like the truth. I know that I can't necessarily believe everything she's saying, right? Because I can't really bend on the fact that she is going to lean into her better womanhood and try to have my back because I don't know her like that. And she's not like my other girlfriends who would be girls and obviously be upfront and be like, girl, I'm so sorry. Like, this man is an asshole. So I made sure to obviously dress hot because I was like, let me flex on this hoe. And so I wore a strapless little 90s vintage slip dress. I love a slip dress. And it was a chartreuse color, very golden, nice with my skin tone, and some little baby kitten heels. And I did these big bombshell like waves in my hair. And then I did like a little bit of a natural beat. I don't want her to think that I tried too hard, but I wanted it to look like I maybe came from somewhere and then I was just fitting her into my busy schedule as a soon to be fabulous divorcee. You know what I'm saying? I walk down there and I walk in and she's not there yet. And it is 2:01. And I'm like, okay, sit down in the coffee shop. The coffee shop, okay? Here's Hollywood Boulevard. Here's Las Palmas, the street that I lived on. My place is here. The coffee shop is right on the corner. Hollywood Boulevard is right here, the busiest part. Just to give you an idea, this is where the Walk of Fame is. It crosses this boundary. And the Hollywood and Highlands Center is over here. So it is a busy ass street. The coffee shop that's on the end, it's got a corner window that goes around. And at the window right here, there's a lounge area that you can sit. And then I was sitting in a seat here so I could face the windows outside to see when this hoe walked up. I'm sitting there looking at my watch. Well, I don't look at a watch because they're for aesthetic purposes. Looking at my phone, 2:05. 2:10, I'm drinking my cold brew. 2:15, I go get a refill of my cold brew. I DM her on Instagram. I'm like, yo, where the fuck are you at, right? 2:20, 2:25, 2:30. I'm texting my girlfriends, this bitch isn't gonna show. And they're like, she's probably scared you're gonna beat her ass. I'm like, we are in a public place. Like, what damage can I do to her here? Throw a coffee on her? And they're like, maybe. I'm like, all right, well, I'm gonna wait till 2:35. And then if she doesn't come, I'm leaving. 2:32 comes around. I see dark black hair come around the corner, ocean blue eyes, ocean blue shirt, very, very short denim skirt with some weird little cowboy boots that were turquoise. I thought it was a strange choice because her shirt was literally like this color and then the boots were turquoise. So it was like green blue with a blue shirt. And I thought that's not really the same color family. It's not close enough, but you know what? It is a choice. And she opens the door, she walks in, she's looking around as if she didn't know that I was already there because she saw me through the window. She walks up and I'm like, so did you get held up at gunpoint or like, where were you? And she's like, look, sorry, I had another job interview and it ran late. I'm like, oh, where was your job interview? And she's like, I'm not going to tell you. I'm like, okay, whatever. I don't really care. And I'm like, why? Was it Chipotle or something? And then she looks at me and I'm like, I could see you working at Chipotle. And then she's like, okay, let's just sit down. I'm like, so Veronica, as you have known about the intimate details of my husband and everything, I'm going to give you a chance, woman to woman, to explain yourself. Because at the end of the day, I don't believe in blaming women. But I do believe that you are to blame in some aspect because you knew who I was. You knew that he was married. You knew that we were together. You had seen me many times. And I just want to know why you did it. Like, what's the deal? Did he pursue you in a way that made you feel like the dynamic was really off? Did it make you feel like there was a power dynamic that you couldn't escape from? And she's like, look, I'm going to tell you this and this only. Your husband pursued me. He told me that I was the most beautiful woman that he had ever seen. He said that he could not even imagine not trying to hang out with me because that's how attracted he was to me. She is about to go into all these things. And while she's doing this, she has the smuggest look on her face, you guys. Like, literally, she is giving me this look of zero empathy, zero apology. She does not care. I was like prepared that maybe she could have had some humanity and some sort of shred of girlhood and be like, look, I'm 18, he's older, he's my boss. There was a power dynamic where I felt scared and worried that I would lose my job if I didn't do what he asked. So yes, I'm really sorry, but I did not know what to do. I felt like I was being taken advantage of. I would have been like, oh my God, I am so sorry. And I would have been able to see her side a little bit, right? But instead, this little biatch is like, he said that he was not satisfied at home, that you weren't satisfying him, and that he had a nagging wife. And so I just did what I thought was right, which was just to make a very unhappy man happy and less lonely. The minute those words left her mouth, y'all, I could not hear anymore. I stood up. I got super close to her face. She had the decency to feel kind of scared. And she went like this, and I got super close to her face. And I was just like, I hope and I pray for your sake that when you get to your 20s, mid-20s, 30s, 40s, whatever it is, and that you find a man that you believe is the love of your life, that he never cheats on you with some young hot thing and makes you feel less than or unworthy, because that is a feeling I would never wish on any woman. But the fact that you have done this to me and that you feel smug and good about it just shows that, unfortunately, baby, this is going to happen to you. And promise you that one day you're going to get older and there's going to be a younger and hotter woman out there, and you are not always going to be on top. And I fucking pray that you learn that you shouldn't mess with married men and that you should always be about your women, because the women are here to take care of you. And Takis would throw you under the bus in a second. He told me that you meant nothing to him and that it was just his distraction. But I'm so sorry that you are so naive that you believed that you were special to him. And then I left. I walked, well, more like I stomped all the way back to my place. I went up to the apartment. I threw myself on the bed and I cried for like an hour. And it's something that I've noticed about being a woman, right? Is we expect so much more out of our fellow women. We don't expect a lot of men because, obviously, but out of our women, we expect there to be some code, some sort of girlhood, some sort of camaraderie, because it's so hard out here for us. And even though I didn't know her, it hurt me that she didn't have my back, just because we're both women. And I understand that that is a little bit naive on my part, just because of the way that I look at the world and the way that I value women so deeply. But it hurt me. Like, this girl that I didn't know, it hurt me. And I'm on the bed crying and I hear my phone ring and I look over and it's Taki's mom, my beautiful, wonderful mother-in-law. And I get on the phone and she goes, Agabimu. I said, yeah. She goes, do you know where Takis is? I said, no. The last I saw or heard from him was last night he was arguing with that Greek reporter man in the driveway. And she was like, well, I just got off the phone with Dino. Apparently Takis got in the car and drove last night drunk and out at 2 a.m, angry, and no one has heard from him since. Nobody knows where he is, and they're all very worried. I'm like, he probably just drove to a strip club or something and is like having a good time. And she's like, no, he left his phone at the apartment so no one can get a hold of him. And I'm like, oh my God. Great. So yes, now y'all, episode 23, Takis is missing. Where has this man gone? Has he not caused me enough grief? I will let y'all know exactly where he was and how I had to get involved in this situation when he was going off the deep end, having his crash out over all the mistakes that he did. If anyone is going through this, I empathize with you. I am here for you. My DMs are open. Any advice, if you just want to complain or if you just want to say that you have been in the same situation and you just want me to give you a little bit of love, I am here for you. I love you. I see you. We are so much stronger, women. Anyone that's been through this, we are so much stronger because of it. And ladies, we're very impressive. And I'm very proud of all of you that have gone through this, come out fighting, stronger. We're good, girls.